It's the best. I had a Skype call with Jill Soloway for 45 minutes talking about LGBT issues.
Wow.
I never auditioned for her. Jill, intuitive, very, very intuitive. She knew also that I had worked with Jeffrey 40 years ago at the Milwaukee Repertory Theater, that she knew how I felt about him. She knew that he and I had done other things through the years. I played his girlfriend on a series that he did with John Lithgow that was very short-lived called 20 Good Years. But the thing about Jill is that it was important to her to put together a group of people whose energy would mesh. And I mean, we talked about the piece and all of this, but I knew it was shooting in LA. And when I finished with her, when I got off the Skype call with her, I hung up and I called Herb and I said, this could bring me back to LA. This is so extraordinary, and she is so genius. I know what she's going for. And it was, again, one of those moments in time where I said, there is guidance here, and if it's part of what I think is a purposeful part of my life, something that I've been working with in my life for a long time. And I also knew that the transgender community had been a portion of the LGBT that had been sort of the last thought. And I knew that this would change that. And I knew what Jeffrey would do with this. I knew the responsibility level that he would take for creating this character, not making it a caricature, not doing it with a wink. And Jill cast us all in that way. And then what she did was she had done a film called Afternoon Delight with my friend Josh Radnor, who I had actually done a play with in it's funny, I forgot about that. I did Company, and I played Joanne in Company with this fabulous group of people who were, a lot of them were from New York, like Chris Sieber, who was playing the lead, and Josh Radnor, who went on to How I Met Your Mother. And so she had done this film, it was called Afternoon Delight, and she worked with a woman named Joan Shekel. And she got everybody in the group to work with Joan, and then Jill won Best Director at Sundance for that film. So when we were starting Transparent, she said, I want all of us to do this work with Joan. Now, Joan, you do physical exercises, but you do not do the scenes. And the way she talks to you is she creates a context for the work where you are physically connecting with people out of, like, she'll say a line like, or Jill will say a line like, will you still love me if? And then Joan starts talking to you about how to move with somebody else and who to go to. And she has this huge studio, open platform. And the cinematographer, Jimmy Frona, came. And Jill was part of the work. And the first AD and the second AD. And all the actors. And everybody was working off the same place. And so when you first watch Transparent, you say, oh, that's a family. I know those people. And that was what she wanted to create, and that is exactly what she created. Was this, you knew that those people ate off each other's plates. And you knew that those people would drive each other insane, but at the same time, there was this depth of love that they carried with them that beyond anything. So in Transparent, and I don't know which episode it is, when Maura has been at the, has done Trans Got Talent. There's a show, and Maura comes, the kids leave and they don't stay for her performance. And then she gets in the car and she's driving, and you see her driving and you don't know where she's going. And she comes to my house. So you know and understand that for whatever their neurosis is, whatever their craziness, at the bottom line, there is always that love. And again, I go back to, it's universal. It's mythic. It's iconic. Everybody knows that experience. Everybody knows that where they can go, whatever your family is, if it's a made-up family, if it's a family that you've created, not necessarily your blood family. But again, it also goes back to a purposeful career, a career that now, in this time of transgender, and when there are many of you who will be seeing this in 50 years, when we're all gone, you will look back and you will know that there was a time when people were not treated well. They were discounted. And that this was the beginning of that moment of taking it seriously, of taking it differently. And because this is Jill's story, and this is Jill's parent, and when she came out to the family, what it did to everybody. I mean, there's just this thing about it that everybody says. The experience is so real for them. And it's addictive. They can't stop watching it. Now, I'm not a binge watching person, but most people tell me that they can't stop watching it. It's like eating popcorn. They just can't get enough of it. And they're back writing now, and we're going to start in June again. And we really have to be careful that we maintain that level of commitment to the work. And I know that they will. I mean, I know how serious Jill is about this piece. This is her dedication to her parent. Mm-hmm. So that's transparent. It's very challenging to shoot. And there'll be moments in it, like there's this one moment where we're sitting Shiva, which is what Jewish people do for, sort of like a wake. Mm-hmm. And Maura is sitting there, and she's just had this big fight with Gabby Hoffman's character. And Gabby storms out, and she's sitting there, Maura's sitting there, and I hear Jill call from the back, start walking toward her. And then Maura says to me, don't come any closer. And I hear Jill, keep walking. This was the way we worked with Joan, so that Jill could then come and like sort of sidewise say to Jimmy Frona, the cinematographer, shoot him, shoot her, shoot him, shoot her. So we were all a part of doing this, so it's never distracting. And that's part of what illuminates the work on the show. And that's why people feel, I think, about it the way that they do. They feel the kind of intimacy.